You're listening to CBC Radio 1 in Trail and Rossland. You're listening to us at 94.1 FM. A Calgary-based company has submitted a new application to government for a new magnesium mine just west of Rossland. West High Yield Resources wants to build an open-pit mine along Record Ridge, which is currently used as a hiking trail. Frank Marasco is the president and CEO. We've reached him this morning in Calgary. Mr. Marasco, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. What kind of demand is there at the moment for magnesium?
Oh, it's strategic and critical. There's a very, very big demand, especially in the U.S., Canada, and Europe right now, because China and Russia control 96% of this product. So we don't have much on this side of the world. So it's very important for the United States. It's strategic and critical to their economy, to Canada's economy, and to Europe's economy. So we were left behind about 25 years ago when China and Russia took control of this product. So this is very, very good for Canada and the United States at this moment. So
why? What's it used for?
Well, it's used in many applications. It touches every industry, and I'll just lay them all out. We start off at pharmaceutical and food grade. So we're going to start off with producing the raw material for the magnesium supplements. That's what we're going to start off doing. But it's also used to make a wallboard. Now, this is very good. It's fireproof, it's smoke-proof, it's waterproof, it's mold, mildew, and termite-proof. And that also reduces deforestation at the same time. It makes a cement product that lasts up to 2,000 years. Look at the Great Wall of China. Back then, they used magnesium. It's still standing. If they would have just used regular cement there, that would have been crumbled many, many years ago, but that's over 1,000 years old. It also produces a magnesium battery that they're working on right now. It's not commercialized yet, but we figure in about 2 years that they're going to commercialize a magnesium battery that's 4 times cheaper and 12 times longer lasting than the current lithium battery. So that's incredible. And then, of course, it makes a magnesium ingot that we're not going to be doing, but this magnesium ingot is 75% lighter than steel, 60% lighter than titanium, 33% lighter than aluminum. So decarbonization here, you want to lighten up all these vehicles for these batteries that can take you around. And, of course, it touches, the sporting industry for die casting, for the tool industry, of course, all the parts for the cars, aero industry. It's magical, this stuff. So it touches every industry. It also produces a fertilizer. And, of course, in areas where you guys are located, where you don't get too much snow, or where the areas that don't get too much snow, it also produces a magnesium chloride for keeping the road safer. It's a de-icer. And it's also a duster. It prevents dust. So for the farmers, when you're traveling on a gravel road, all that dust lifts up and comes onto the crops, and it chokes them. So the abundance is a lot less. By putting this onto the gravel, it prevents the dust, about 80% of the dust, from rising up and going onto the crops. Okay,
so obviously lots of applications. This has been on the books for over a decade, this particular mine. Why has it taken so long to get to this point?
Over 15 years. I've been there 19 years, over 15 years just focusing on the magnesium project. It's just a protocol that you have to go through if you're a public company. When you're public, you got to go through all these NI 43-101 technical reports, and you got to go drill, you got to go get the assays, you got to get all third party. You can't say anything, we can't say anything, so we're totally independent from it. It's all the scientists that come in, and they're all PhD scientists, and they have to review everything. So it's a 13 to 15 year protocol for anybody in British Columbia. It doesn't matter who you are if you're a public company. If you're a private company, you could probably do it in about 7-8 years. Yeah.
Now, I mentioned that there's this new application to the government. So how far away if this is, let's just pretend will all be approved, how far away are you from actually building the mine?
Well, right now we're ready to go. We're just working with 3 different mining companies. We're going to be putting that out. We put it out to tender. We haven't awarded anybody the contract yet. We're just waiting for all of them to come in. And then, of course, what we're going to start off doing, if everything goes according to plan, we're just going to start selling the ore first, just the rock, for the first 2 to 3 years, up to 10 years with this group that we're looking at. But to build our plants, we're going to start off with a semi-commercial plant that's going to design the main plant. So it produces about 6,000 tons of magnesium oxide. So we need about 16,000 tons of ore to do that in a year. And then we want to build a main plant that we want to, get 250,000 tons of ore per year to get 100,000 tons of magnesium oxide a year. And then we take it from there. So that will just be producing the raw material magnesium oxide for the supplements, for the magnesium intravenous, for pharmaceutical and food grade products is what we're starting off with. Yes.
Now, it was actually a listener in the area who made us aware of this, and that listener was concerned about the environmental impacts. And I'm sure you have, there are lots of questions about anytime there's an open pit mine about the environmental impacts. Can you just lay those out for us and why you think and what you'll do to mitigate those?
We've already mitigated it. This is the latest and greenest project on Earth. And our motto is magnesium for a green, clean, healthy planet. So it's strategic and critical. You're talking ESG right now. Why are projects focused on best practices, environmental stewardship, mind to market, respectful of the community, and to all stakeholders. So it's a green project. There's virtually zero CO2 emissions on both sides. So it's strategic and critical to decarbonize the globe. And just as important, this critical mineral, its process for extraction is equally as important for the production of the input products. Our process almost eliminates all CO2 emissions. So we use hydroelectricity on one side, and the process to get the magnesium oxide is basically zero CO2 emissions. So they want to be zero CO2 emissions before 2050. We're already practically there. We're zero on the hydro and 0.2 of 1% CO2 emissions.
And what kind what kind of economic effect would this mine have on the local area?
It's going to be fantastic for the local area. It'll create about 300 construction jobs, and it'll create 250 permanent jobs, good-paying jobs with benefits for the local community. And, of course, the support that we're going to be working with, Rossland is our closest community, but all communities around there, we're going to be supporting them too. So it's going to be quite sustainable for the communities for many years to come. And the support will be there from our company to the nearby communities. And, of course, it's going to produce all those jobs and, of course, good taxes, for British Columbia. So British Columbia should be very, very proud of this asset. It plays a big part contributing to the net zero transition, and we'll be active participant in doing so along with the communities.
Well, Frank, we'll be watching as it unfolds. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Okay, for everybody out there, WHY Resources on the TSX venture. God bless you all, and thanks for your support.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Frank Marasco, the president and CEO of West High Yield Resources. We'd love to hear from you in Trail and Rossland. What do you think?